back to Tell the Truth channel. Please like, share my content on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and what other content that y'all go on. I appreciate that very much. I am in Jesus and Jesus is in me. All right. I have a channel message from the Father, and it's about the preachers. Yeah, it's about the preachers that he want me to speak on. That what he sees, and the preachers think that he don't see this, but he does. He sees it. He be in the houses with these preachers when they be preaching to their congregation. The Father is in the house. Y'all might not think that God don't be the places that y'all be at, but he does. He be there. He be at your house. He be at your job. He be at the schools. He be in the stores. He be when you go get your car fixed. He be with you when you go to the doctor, to the clinics, all of that. God is everywhere. He is everywhere. Everywhere. He's with you when you take your children to the park, to the zoo, wherever. God is around. And see, the point is that y'all don't think that God is not around because y'all don't see God. Because y'all want God to be standing right there in y'all face for order for y'all to see God. But see, God ain't going to stand in your face. God going to let you know what he sees. So he ain't going to stand in your face, but he's definitely going to let you know what he sees. And your sins and your transactions that y'all be doing, that he sees that too. And how y'all treat the people in the world. Because we all are God's children. And God watch over his children. The ones that come to him every single day and get on their knees and pray to God about every situation that they go through. God is watching. He always watching. Now, just because y'all don't think that God is not standing in your face or not thinking that he's not listening to your prayers, he does. He be listening. He be listening to your prayers. Every time you pray to him, he hears your prayers. That's why he sends his angels out here. That's why we out here. That's why his chosen ones is out here. Because he do hear y'all prayers. He hear y'all every time y'all pray. He hear y'all just like he hear y'all children's pray. Even though he know that your children's can't pray like y'all can pray, he understands that. But he still hears the children's no matter how they pray. He understand their heart. He understand their heart just like he understand y'all heart. He understand their heart. And he knows what they trying to say to him. That's why he understand. He knows what they trying to say to him. So, this is what the Father want me to speak on. He sees how certain preachers talk to their congregations. Total disrespectful. Total disrespectful. He sees it. And that's one thing you don't do. If you're working for the Lord, you don't bring your congregation down. You lift them up, because that's what God does. He don't bring his people down. He lifts them up. And he tells them what they doing is wrong. And he's not going to pull no punches on it, because that's what God does. God going to tell you the truth. And he ain't going to pull no punches on the way he tells you the truth. And it's up to you to accept it. But see, these people out here that are supposed to be working for God don't tell the people the truth. They just down the people. Set up, lifting them up and telling them how things supposed to go in the Bible. The truth of how things supposed to go in the Bible. Not how things supposed to go their way. It's supposed to go the way God got it in the Bible. The truth. But see, they take the truth and turn it around another way and make these people feel bad about themselves. But see, this is what God's saying. The people are so asleep that they're not even catching what these preachers are saying to them. They're not catching it. They think these preachers is telling them the truth of how they are, but they not. These preachers, some of these preachers is so arrogant that they don't know how to talk to their congregation. So they talk to their congregation any kind of way. And their congregation, they take it and then go back to them again. Even though they know these people are disrespectful. Even though. Because they still sleep. Now, if they was woke, they wouldn't accept that from that preacher, from certain preachers. They wouldn't, because they will walk away and go to another church that will respect you for who you are, not for the money that you put in the collection plate. Now, because you have a lot of people, you have a lot of preachers out there that only wants you for your collection plate, what you put into the collection plate. That's all they want. They not there for you. They there for what you give them, because they take that money and they work it all around their situation, like getting them cars, buying them homes, making sure they pay off their kids' college funds and all of that stuff. That's what they do with y'all money. And then they have y'all do a little bit of something like what? Cook a little bit in the church to feed the children and to feed y'all, But then tell y'all that the only reason why, when y'all walk away for a while and don't come back to the church, when you come back, you're not welcome into that church because you have stepped away and you lost your place in that church. So, therefore, they looking for you to give them your tithe. That's what they want. If you don't have your tithe to give them, then you're not welcome back in that church. So, you always got to pay your dues to be able to get in the church. If you don't pay your dues, then you can't walk into that church. See, that's how crooked preachers are. They don't work for the Lord, work for the devil, because they're all about what they want for themselves. That's how that goes. Now, when you're working with the Lord and these preachers that work for God, they're going to help you regardless of what you go through. And if you step away, they're not going to turn you away because you don't have your tithe. They're going to ask you, what's your situation? Why you stepped away? What's going on in your life? It got to be a reason why you stepped away. Because once you step away and you go to the preacher that works for God and you tell them your situation, they're going to try to help you out of your situation. They're not going to turn you away because you don't have your tithe. They're going to try to help you get what you need to get back on your feet. That's the person that works for God. They never going to turn you away. They're going to always help you regardless of what you go through. They're going to have your back because they got God back. And that's the people that works for God. They're not going to turn you away just because you ain't got the money for the collection plate. Just because you ain't got the money to pay their tithe, to give them to go get homes and cars and pay their kids tuitions and all of that stuff. Them the ones that do that, not the ones that work for God. Because the ones that work for God, they're going to take that money and they're going to put it into the church. They're going to put it into the church. And the preachers that work for God, they're not going to sit here and try to dress like they got it all going on. Now, them the ones that don't work, them the ones that work for God. They're not going to dress like that. Wherever which way they got. And whatever they got that God give them, they're going to work with what they got. They're not going to go out there and try to, make people think that they got it all going when they know they don't got it, because God don't do it like that. God don't do it like that. God gonna give you what he can give you, and you're gonna work with that until God say, I'm gonna build you up. And when God build you up, you still gonna carry your weight. You still gonna carry yourself the way God wants you to carry yourself in God's ways. Not trying to sit here and stunt for the people. Because, see, God ain't looking for you to stunt. God looking for you to work for the people and help the people, regardless of how you look. If you got to come in there with a pair of jeans on and you work for God, that's okay. God got you. If you got to come in there with some shorts on, that's okay. God got you. If you got to come in there with your drawers on, that's okay. God got you. It don't matter, because you work for God. So God gonna level you up in the way he want to level you up. And you gonna be grateful. And you gonna let God do it his way. And you're not gonna sit here and stunt for God, because God don't want no stunt. God wants the people to do his work, to do his will. That's what God wants. He wants you to do his will, not try to sit here and show God, well, God, I got this suit and it's bad, God. This suit is so bad. Look, I got me a pimp stripe suit, God. I'm looking good for you, for your congregation. God said, no, you not. Because if you working for me, you can walk in there with a pair of jeans on, and I'm cool with that. That's God right there. That's how God take it. That's how God want it to be. You see, when you working for the devil and you doing the devil's will, you gonna look for you to walk out there with pimp stripe suits and all that bling, bling, bling on your arm and on your neck, trying to show people that you got it going on. Yeah, for the devil. Until the devil get tired and say, look here, I'm finna snatch that away from you. You ain't finna be stunting like that. You supposed to act like you working for the Lord. But see, you got these preachers out here that don't know how to work for the Lord, because they be working for themselves. They be stunting to try to prove to the congregation that this is how you supposed to look. Come in with a pimp stripe suit. No. God don't care how you come into his house, as long as you come into his house. That's how God feel. You can come in there, like I said, with a bra and pair of panties. God gonna accept you in his home. You can come in there with some drawers on. God gonna accept you in his home. It don't matter. If you come in there booty naked, God gonna accept you in his home. That's the way God is. He don't care. He just love you for who you is, not what you got in your pockets. See, that's what these preachers do that be out here putting their congregation down and making their congregation thinking that they working for them, but they not. They working for themselves and their families. Because if you go into the church and you look into the church ain't even fixed up that good. Now, don't get me wrong. They take the money and do a little bit of some on the church, but the rest of it go into their pockets. See, that's how that goes. Now, when you go into one of God's house and you go into that church, you're going to see that church got a little bit of, problem going up in there. You're going to see that. And they not taking the money and spending it on, the church. They spending it on the congregation or what they going through. So when you walk in another church that got something to do with God, they're going to have a little bit of something going on in that church that needs some work done, And they're going to take that money. And don't get me wrong, they're going to take some of that money and they are going to fix that church up a little bit. They're going to do what they can. But they're going to take most of that money and help the congregation. That's what they do. Them the ones that work for God. They're going to take most of that money and put it in for the congregation. So whatever they go through or whatever they need, the people in the congregation can come to the preacher and tell the preacher what they going through, and then the preacher going to give them what they need, because the preacher know that once he give it to the congregation, God going to reward him even more. See, that's what a preacher that works for God, he knows that. He knows that once he helped the congregation, and when he helped that congregation, he knows that God is going to reward him even more, because he helping the people that need help. Not the situation that he's going through, the people that need help. Because he know that by him helping what God give it, God ain't going to take away, because he see that he need it. So he's going to give it to him and make sure he fix up whatever he need without using the congregation to get it. Because that money that the congregation give to the preacher goes to the congregation, not to the preacher. It goes to the congregation. So whatever the preacher needs, he goes to God. And when he goes to God, and God see that he have been, doing his will for him, then God rewards him for what he needs to help him and the church. That's how that goes. That's how that goes. So what I'm saying here, it's a lot of preachers out here that don't work for God. They work for the devil. Because if you work for God, you're not going to sit here and put the congregation down. You're going to help them through the situation that they go through. You're not going to sit here and call them out and call all kind of names and talk about them and all that stuff. That's not working for God. That's working for the devil. That's working for the devil. And people don't open their eyes to see that when they go into a devil's house and all these people want is money. That's not God. Because God don't just give you money. God give you gifts. And if you need money and he see that you deserve it, then you're going to get it. And that's the same with the gifts. But when you sitting up there taking advantage of God people, then God steps in and he see what he has to do to stop it. So he wants these people to wake up and realize that when you going into a church and these people just looking for you to always putting money in a collection plate all the time, every time you come around, they bringing that collection plate around, bringing that collection plate around, bringing that collection plate around. It's about money. And it's about what they want for their pockets. It's not about the church, and it's not about y'all. It's about them. Because the collection plate only supposed to go around twice, not every 5 minutes of the day. And you in that church, don't know collection plate supposed to go around every 5 minutes of the day you in that church. It only supposed to go around twice. That's it. That's it. That's it. Twice. That's it. No more. And when you give up the money, that money's supposed to help the congregation, not the preacher. The congregation of what they going through. Because the congregation is the one that's giving that money up. And when they giving that money up, they're giving it to the preacher to help them and help fix the church up. That's what they're giving that money for. To help the preacher and help fix up the church. When the church is going through a little bit of something, that's where the money's supposed to go. To the church and to the congregation. Not to the preacher to put in their pockets and go out there and buy Bentleys and, like I said, put their kids in college and all that and buy little jewelry and all that stuff, trying to stunt and buying these pimp striped suits and all that stuff, trying to show everybody like, I got it going on, when it ain't even your money. It's the congregation money and the church money. That's where that money's supposed to go to. The congregation and the church. So that's why I say God sees what's going on in these churches. He sees it. So you don't never supposed to turn your congregation away when they are going through a problem. You supposed to help them out the problem, not turn them away. So if they stay away from a while, they got to be going through something. Go check on them and see why your congregation have not been there. It's got to be a reason. That's what the preacher's supposed to do. Go and find out why one of your congregations did not come to church. Why? Find out why they didn't come. Settle. When they come in there, then they got to tell you what they going through, and then you turn them away because they ain't got the money to give you what you want for yourself. Because that ain't the way it's supposed to go. They supposed to be there. When they go through something, you supposed to go find out and help them with their situation. Because regardless of them not being at the church, they was there a long time ago, and they still got tasks up there that should be helping them with the situation that they go through. No matter if they ain't been there, they still got tasks there, and you still should be able to help them through their situation. Instead of telling them, no, you don't have the money, so you can't come back to this church until you have your tax. No, that ain't how it work. That ain't working for God. That's working for the devil. That's who you're working for, the devil. So, when you see your church about to what? Fall down, that's because God done stepped in and seen how you run that church. And he finna close it down. Let me tell y'all something. When I used to live over there by the projects, it was this church that I used to go to. And one day, I was walking past the church. And now, don't get me wrong now. I'm not going to say that the preacher was just collecting money from the churches, from the congregation. I don't know. Only God knew that. Only God knew that. I don't know, because I was like, what, 15, 14 years old? And I wasn't all up in that. I was too busy, playing. But like I said, I was walking past the church one day. And as I walked past the church, I seen the church. The church caught on fire. I'm telling you. Didn't nobody set that church on fire. Do y'all hear what I said? Didn't nobody set that church on fire. God set that church on fire. That church was burnt down. When the preacher came back to that church, he saw that church burnt down. And he wondered, how did the church burn down? They even had the fire department. The fire department did the investigation and told them that they don't even know how the church caught on fire. Sure did. Didn't even know how the church caught on fire. The church just caught on fire. Yeah, because the Lord did it. He burnt that church down because people probably wasn't doing the right thing in that church, and God burnt it down. He sure did. So that's what I'm saying. If you're not treating your congregation like you're supposed to, just wait on it, because the Lord gonna shut it down. That's what he does. He gonna shut it down. It was everybody standing out there trying to figure out how did that church get burnt down. Because did nobody set that church on fire? Only but God. Sure did. That's what happened. So, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. God sees everything. And when you ain't doing the right thing, God steps in and he handle it. That's what he does. He handle it. Especially if you're not following in according to God's ways. God step in and he handle it. Because people should not be treated the way y'all treat people. Treat people with respect. Like you want to be treated, you treat the people the same way. Because you wanted to be a preacher, and God gave you that chance to prove that you're supposed to be a preacher. And then when you start turning around and trying to use the congregation, that's when God step in. That's when he step in. So like I said, y'all preachers that be calling y'all self preachers and sitting up here down in y'all congregation, God got his eyes on you. He got his sparrow on you and watching you. Believe that. So you better think about it when you have your congregation coming to the church and you reading that Bible and taking that Bible and flipping it and calling these people out names and stuff as you read that Bible. Remember, God got the sparrow watching you. He's watching you. He got the sparrow watching you. So this is what the Father want me to speak on. Thank y'all for listening to me. Jesus love you. Father love you. The Holy Ghost, the angels, the ancestors, and I love y'all. And I will be back to talk to y'all again soon. Y'all have a good day and a blessed day.